All right, we are live for episode 72 of the Hurricane Mike Show. In a week where a lot have happened, but them Falcons got destroyed because why, Dad?
Well, this is always going to happen, son. They suck.
Oh boy, dude, they suck, man, because they are the epitome of suck. Dad, like, why do Falcon fans every single year they always think they're gonna do something, even though they suck?
I think they were born that way, son. You know, their parents raised them up in the ways of the Falcons, and unfortunately for them, so that's what they know. They think one day the Falcons, the sun might shine on their booty, and they might win a Super Bowl. But we know better, son, because we are Saints fans.
Yeah, bro. Like, how dare you speak on Daddy's name that way? Like, I thought, I thought the children are supposed to respect their parents. So how dare you talk on Daddy's name like that? Dad, how disrespectful do you think they are talking on Daddy's name like that?
It's very disrespectful. I mean, that's the way kids are these days. They just run amok, son. They run amok. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, man. But we got some great games to go over, and while I finish this, so we got some comments on Victory Monday. Saints win 2 and Falcons lose 2. Who that? Yeah, Jerry. By the way, Jerry, I just want to let you know some. Look, I'm not mad at you when I say this, but yesterday you timed somebody out that he's my friend. So next time if you see someone named Kyle Phelps, don't time him out. So
What does
just
that
I'm just
mean?
saying that.
Time out. What does that mean?
Like in the chat, you can time somebody out. So next time, just I think it was because he said F them clowns and he was talking about the Browns. All right, so just look, next time, just be more cautious of who he is. I know you probably didn't know. I'm just letting you know that right now. Accidents happen. Yeah, that's why I'm not mad at you, Jerry. That's why I'm not mad. Like, because I know it's an accident. But I'm just saying because if something else would have happened, I'm just saying. But Dad, man, we gotta get into some great football games, man. Starting
Hold
off
on.
on Thursday.
Before we go any further, you know, you shouldn't time out people. But if Kyle Phelps would have said, Falcons number one, he's got to get timed out. But he didn't say that, right? Okay.
Yeah, he didn't say that. In fact, he actually jumped on the train saying how bad they are. Man, because I kept telling him in his streams,
Did he
yo,
see? I mean, all you got to do is see, and you know how bad they are.
yeah,
Doing
man.
the gritty,
But let's get into some football. Thursday night, we definitely had a good game where the Eagles took care of business against the Commanders with a final score of 26-18. Dad, what's your final thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, the Eagles took care of business. Jaden Daniels didn't have one of his better games. He threw a costly interception there, and not for a whole lot of yards. He was just dinking and dunking, and yeah. So the Eagles made the plays, and Washington didn't. So congrats to the Eagles, even though I still hate y'all. But go ahead and throw batteries at Santa Claus or something in celebration.
Yeah, I mean, all right, got that figured out. Okay. I mean, look, man, Saquon Barkley, 2 touchdowns. Both of them really were nail biters or nail in the coffin. Jalen Hurts he just destroyed them. All right, he just destroyed them, bro. The Eagles. This was a game that both teams really needed, but the Eagles got the better of Washington. Washington on the 2-game losing streak. Let's see if Lattimore, when he comes back, let's see if he can fix that. Because like the Eagles been hot lately. Both teams top of their division. So yeah. Next, no, wrong thing. Packers taking care of business against the Chicago Bears, 20-19. That was your takeaway on this game.
The Bears played better than who we thought they are. Rest in peace, Denny Green. But yeah, they played good. They could have won the game, but wasn't there a block kick at the end or something like that?
Yeah, Packers blocked the Bears' field goal attempts in final seconds to escape with win, and that I was 2 points off, bro.
It's 2 points off. What was your prediction?
22-19 Packers.
Okay, so Caleb Williams, 23 of 31, 231 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So he played all right after, the offensive coordinator got fired and they all looking at him, looking at, hey, man, you the first pick in the draft. I mean, what you going to do? You going to let coaches get fired and you just not going to do anything? Well, he showed up a little bit. Let's see how he develops further.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The Bears, man, they played a solid game. Like, they struggled to start, but then they got they got the rhythm going, but it just wasn't enough after that block kick. But, man, the Lions, bro, you know the saying, or when people be saying teams play down to their competition?
Mm-hmm.
The Lions refuse to do that.
They don't do that. No.
Like, whenever they play against, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, you want to do that, but every time you play against a trash team, they make them look like a trash team. Like, they put the belt, man, 52-6. Good God, you couldn't have had mercy on them? They have families. Like, bruh. Jameson Williams scoring 64-yard touchdowns. Like, what are we doing, man? I thought the NFL was a brotherhood, not the Detroit. They looked at that loss that they had against San Francisco last year, and they don't know how to act. Man. All right. But that was your takeaway. Oh, wait, hold on. I accidentally switched it. That was your takeaway on that game, bro.
Jared Goff handled his little children. Remember last week he had 5 interceptions. Well, this week he had 0 interceptions, but 4 touchdown passes, over 400 yards. Even Hendon Hooker got in the game late, and he was 3 of 4. I was high on Hendon Hooker. I wanted the Saints to draft him, but
same here.
Here he is playing cleanup for the Lions. 52 points hung on these people. That's not fair, Jared Goff. That's not fair.
Man, I'm starting to think that the NFL should investigate the Lions for PEDs because what? Man, I've never seen the Lions play like this. Like, what? I don't know, man.
Dan Campbell.
Man. Whatever. Vikings take care of business against the Titans 23-13. Cam Akers gets his touchdown, as he got traded back to Minnesota. But that, what's funny?
What's that?
I know a couple Vikings fans. Some of them are cool, but there's this one Vikings fan that makes me confused. Because he's like, man, the Vikings just beat the Titans. But when the Saints beat the Panthers, it's just the Panthers. But when the Saints beat the Cowboys, it's just the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys. Yeah.
Like, what? Like, okay, but like, if you celebrate a win against Tennessee, who is probably worse than Carolina and probably worse than the Cowboys, then why are you talking? Because you're acting like you're going to the NFC Championship game. You're not even number one in your division. Like, you have 2 losses and you're still playing catch up. Man.
But they 8-2, and I'd like to be in their shoes, but Sam Darnold played okay yesterday. He threw 2 touchdowns and ran for a touchdown. Come on, Sam Darnold. Come on.
Yeah. Like, y'all played a solid game, but like, it's against the Titans.
Yeah.
Y'all beat the Titans by 10. 10 points.
Football team don't have a quarterback, don't have a running back. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, y'all only beat them by 10, bro. You only scored one touchdown in the second half. So I'm just saying, bro. And they came in the third quarter. But moving on. Dolphins take care of business against the Raiders, 34-19. They are now on a 2-game winning streak as the Dolphins, they were able to bounce back heavy, especially with the 17-point fourth quarter. And it helps when you have Jonnu freaking Smith wide open for a 57-yard touchdown. I'm not going to lie, I forgot he was even on that team. I forgot he was even in the NFL for a second. So that was your takeaway from this game.
Just the Dolphins trying to get back into it. They have a 4-6 record now. Trying to catch the Bills, which is impossible pretty much. So they're definitely fighting for those wild card positions. I don't know if they'll get it. Tua had a pretty solid game, had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. They were not able to run the ball that much, only had 82 total yards rushing. So, yeah, they got to get more out of their running game. And, yeah, I don't see them doing too much down the road. They might have another win or 2 in them this year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if we look at Miami's schedule, last time I checked, the Dolphins, for some reason, Miami always has a good schedule. I don't know why. Let me see here real quick, because the Dolphins schedule, I don't think that's difficult. Yeah, they play the Patriots, Packers, Jets, Texans, 49ers, Browns. So they have a mid schedule.
They have a possibility for 3 wins there, but
yeah,
50-50.
I could see a maybe win against the Patriots. Packers, I don't know. I could see them winning if they're playing like this, but I don't know. The Packers, they're kind of hot right now. Jets, probably you got to win. Texans, I don't know. The Texans been shaky, but you can probably fall there. 49ers, it depends on what 49ers team we're talking about, and the Browns, the Browns. Even we whooped them. And then you'll have a couple, and then you have, I think, you play a division game at the end, which, but yeah, man, Dolphins just mollywhopped the Raiders at the end. Because it was a close game to the end, just like the Saints game. But let's talk about a game that wasn't democracy. That's the Rams beat the Patriots 28-22, scoring 2 touchdowns in both the second and third quarters. And Cameron Kitchens picks off Drake May at the end to seal a win for the LAR. So that was your takeaway after this win by the Rams.
Much better and closer game than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Rams are going to take it pretty easily. But it was on the road and in those conditions up there in New England. But Matthew Stafford had another strong game, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And they was able to run the ball a little bit, just a little bit. But, yeah, it was a little surprising how close it was.
Yep. Yeah, man. Look, I had the Rams winning by, I think, 5 points. I think I had it 19-15, but yeah, no defense today or yesterday, except for pick. And now let's talk about glory. Saints take care of Cleveland, 35-14. Taysom Hill, his 3rd touchdown from 75 yards. Now, what is your final takeaway from this game?
My final takeaway is my first takeaway. Taysom Hill was the Cleveland Browns' daddy yesterday. He rushed the ball 7 times, 138 yards. He caught the ball 8 times for 50 yards. He threw the ball 2 times, 1 interception, the other one for 18 yards. But I'll forgive him for that 1 turnover. Well, he had 2 turnovers. He had a fumble. That's when you know a guy had a strong game. You will forgive him for 2 turnovers and say he was the man in that game. Have you ever done that before?
Drew Brees did that a couple times.
Turned the ball over twice and said, "You the man" after this game.
There's a game.
Maybe he threw 2 touchdowns, but still had 5. Threw 2 interceptions, but still had 5 touchdowns. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think there was a game against the Giants one time where he had a couple of turnovers. I think. I don't know, but maybe. Yeah, Drew Brees. I mean, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara. There was a game where, like a couple years ago, like hold on, I'm trying to think of it. There was one game where Kamara fumbled the ball twice, and I think he still had a couple touchdowns. I don't know. I'll probably say later. Anyways, Colts taking care of the Jets 28-27, a better game than what I expected. Anthony Richardson puts the Colts ahead for good after his late touchdown. After the Jets looked like it had it salted away. That was your final takeaway, or what's your takeaway on this game?
I did not know they put Anthony Richardson back in the starting lineup, but he looked like he had a pretty decent game. So maybe he learned something from.
Hold up, he was playing the Jets, okay? He was playing the Jets, okay?
I'm just saying maybe he learned something. I'm not saying he arrived yet. I mean, yeah, you playing the Jets. I mean, they are another NFL football team, so I mean, you have to know something to beat a team. But yeah, looking at the Jets, Aaron Rodgers had another performance. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but still another loss for the Jets. Jets.
Jets suck.
Yeah.
But yeah. Man, the Colts, they had a solid game. You know, I definitely did not think they were going to win this one at the end of that game, but they did. And like obviously, I was streaming the Saints game. I wasn't watching that game, but I was going through the scores or whatever, and it was saying what plays were happening. Man, the Jets freaking had like a loss of 30 yards, bro. Man, the Jets did not deserve to. I don't know. Steelers taking care of business against their AFC North rival, the Baltimore Ravens, 18-16, where they have to get 6 field goals. Does that sound familiar to you, Dad?
Yes, it does.
It does, man. Week 1. Okay. But yeah, the Steelers get 6 field goals to win this game. Zay Flowers gets a touchdown at the end, but the Ravens fail their 2-point attempt, which I don't know what the play was. I don't know if Lamar Jackson was supposed to throw the ball to some dude in the back of the end zone, but it was covered, so he lateraled it, or I didn't know if that play was designed. I don't know what was going on there, because when the Saints game cut off, I went to the Ravens-Steelers game, and I was like, what is going on? So that was your takeaway after this game.
Well, Baltimore dropped another one that could have used, battling the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals for the division, but now they dropped the game to Pittsburgh. And
they're not battling Cincinnati.
Speaking of drop, I think Lamar Jackson has dropped the baton for MVP, and it was picked up by Josh Allen yesterday. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I mean, you do make a good point.
1 touchdown, 1 interception. I mean, Lamar Jackson only rushed the ball 4 times. That's odd. I mean, what is the offensive coordinator doing over there? And he had 11 yards per carry, so it wasn't like he wasn't running good. So they just went away from it for a little while. I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I'm just looking at the stats. It looks pretty terrible. But anyway, what's your take?
You know what I think it is? I think Lamar just heard everybody say how he's a running back and not a quarterback. So he's trying a little bit too hard to say, no, I can throw the ball. So I don't think that's on the OC. I think that's on Lamar. That's just my thing. Because usually
if you call quarterback runs, I mean, you got to run the ball. I mean, it's not like
Lamar,
the 70s when the quarterbacks called the plays.
I mean, you never know. But let's move on to probably the second best game of the weekend, man.
All right.
Broncos, man. Sean Payton, your daddy. Falcons, Sean Payton's your daddy. Yeah, Sean Payton, your daddy. Cam Jordan's your daddy. Literally, everybody that has any blood type from New Orleans owns everything in Atlanta. Because you can't beat nobody from New Orleans. Sean Payton, your daddy. Drew Brees, your daddy. Cam Jordan, your daddy. Cam Jordan, in his worst season, still managed to find his sack against y'all. Ain't that funny? Man, Falcons suck. They lose to the Broncos 38-6. You let Bo Nix throw 1? No. 2? No. Silly boy. 3? No. Silly boy. 4 of them, man.
And how many interceptions?
Man. Bro, Kirk Cousins. Oh, Kirk Cousins. What were they doing after week 4? What that what they're doing?
The Kirk Cousins dance. Yep.
But now this is what they're doing.
No, they're doing like this because they see the Saints coming from behind. Here they come. That's what they're doing.
And Dad, you remember? Do you remember this name, Michael Penix Jr.?
Yep. He got.
He even got in the game.
Yeah.
He even got in the game.
So, Hendon Hooker got in the game for a good reason. Michael Penix got in the game for a bad reason. I mean, I guess it's always nice to get the game, but you'd rather be winning like Hendon Hooker and them did. But anyway, Bo Nix. Let me talk about Bo Nix for a second.
Oh, you do that.
I love what Jaden Daniels is doing this year, and he's still the top, for offensive rookie of the year. But Bo Nix is in that conversation now. Bo Nix is getting up in there. So Jaden Daniels gonna have to, step it up if he wants to fend Bo Nix off from that title, from that offensive rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm. But hey, Dad, you remember this name, Cody Barton?
No.
He used to do that pick 6 Spencer Rattler and should have had another touchdown.
Okay. I choose not to try to remember that. But okay.
Well, remember saying Falcon fans were like, how do y'all let Cody Barton own y'all? Brother, he caught an interception against y'all too. Kirk Cousins, he threw an interception and he fumbled the ball. Man, Kirk Cousins, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Sometimes I be trolling because he's not a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't a good quarterback either. He is Kirk Cousins. He is the guy that you want to try to get 10 to. I think his best year was 13-4, and to be honest, they lucked into that record. But like, you paid this man 4 years, and he can't even beat the Broncos. Sean Payton, Lil Boyd him. Sean Payton is their father. Man, the Falcons, bro, y'all tripping. Man, Falcon fans really think they're going to the Super Bowl in the city of New Orleans. Ain't that crazy?
Yes, it is.
Dad, let's play a game, all right?
All right.
So, what is the dumbest thing a human being can ever say?
Falcons winning the Super Bowl.
Okay, now just close your eyes for a second. Just close your eyes. Just think about the Falcons going to the Super Bowl and think about Tom Brady in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
28-3.
Yep. Man, that was fun. Man,
that's all you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I just wanted to remember 28-3 again and again and again. All right, let's move on to actual teams. Seahawks taking care of business against the George Kittle-less 49ers, 20-17. Geno Smith scrambles in for a Seahawks game-winning touchdown in the final seconds. That was your takeaway after this ball game.
It was a good game. Seattle went on the road to take out the 49ers. That makes the Seahawks 5-5 and the 49ers 5-5. Right there is going to be a down to the wire in the NFC West this year, it looks like.
Yeah, I think Arizona is still on top, though, so they got to catch Arizona. Because the Cardinals are like 6-4.
Let's see. I'll tell you right now. Yep, Arizona is 6-4, so they got a game lead on Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. They're all 5-5.
Yeah, this was a game that the 49ers needed to win. Like with Arizona not playing, you had a good chance to catch them. And because they obviously Arizona's the tiebreaker because they both already played and Arizona got the win. But you could have at least tied them, and it sucks when you lose like that. Trust me, as a Saints fan, I know what heartbreak feels like. Anyways, moving on. Bills, or no, I should say this. Chiefs, undefeated, no mo.
No mo.
As Buffalo Bills takes care of them, 30-21. Josh Allen ices the game with an incredible rushing touchdown on 4th down. It was like, 4th and 5, 4th and 8, something like that. And Josh Allen was like, give me the ball. and he called a ball game. But you know what's funny? As much as I hate to admit it, the Chiefs, if they play the Bills in the playoffs, would still probably beat the Bills.
I don't know. This is new year, new teams.
It was a new year for the last 4 years too.
Some new pieces. Well, things happen every year. So
yeah, I understand.
You know what is happening tonight? The Miami Dolphins of 1972 is popping champagne because their record remains intact.
Well, I didn't think about that.
Team to ever win all the games in the year, all the way to the Super Bowl, remains intact.
Yeah. However, here's a narrative that we can just debunk right now. People keep saying Josh Allen, he's a choke artist in the playoffs. Is he though? Look, I understand the Bills haven't got over the hump, but if you look at Josh Allen himself, if we look at his playoff success, if we look at how he's done in the playoffs, and I understand the first thing people do is look at the Super Bowl rings, and that basically defines careers. Dan Marino never won a ring. There's plenty of guys that never win a ring. But if we look at Josh Allen specifically, so his first playoff appearance was in 2018, which would have been his second year. They lost to the Texans back when they had Deshaun Watson and when he was good. They lost to Houston. Or no, not 2018, 2019. So it would have been his third year. But they lost to Houston. But Josh Allen, he had over 260 yards. He even caught a touchdown. They had a 16-0 lead. But the defense collapsed in that game. If we look at 2020, they made it all the way to the AFC Championship game where they would lose to the Chiefs. But like I said, Josh Allen still had over 280. It still almost had 300 yards. And okay, though. Now, those 2 years may have been okay. But in 2021, played the Chiefs again, he had 4 touchdowns, I think. But they lost because why? Their defense couldn't stop Mahomes because their defense couldn't stop the parked car with no wheels. And then in 2022, I understand, lose to the Bengals, 27-10. That's not a good game. But are we really going to put that on them? Because, it was snowing. He had lots of guys get injured. So, I mean, we got to, come on. And then in 2023, they played the Chiefs again and only lost because their kicker missed the field goal. So, I mean, I understand he's been coming up short in the playoffs, but how much can you really put that on Josh Allen?
The Chiefs beat the Bills. The Chiefs did not beat Josh Allen because Josh Allen showed up in all of those games. So we know Josh Allen's going to step up. What's the defense going to do? Is the kicker going to miss the field goal? Is it going to be snowing and they can't run the ball or pass the ball? I don't know, but Josh Allen's going to show up. That's what
yeah. But who didn't show up?
Who that?
The Bengals in the first half.
Nope.
I'm telling you, Dad. So you streamed this game, right?
I tried to. I had some technical difficulties, but yeah.
Well, when I tell you, bro, I went to bed when the score was 27-6, and I woke up being 34-27. As J.K. Dobbins got into the end zone in the closing seconds, it says here on the thing he fumbles into the end zone. Does that mean he just fell into the end zone, or did he fumble the ball and then recovered it? What was it?
I don't recall that play specifically, but I do remember it was a vicious comeback by the Bengals. I thought they were going to do it because there was a time where, they was up, 27-6 or whatever, and then all of a sudden the Chargers offense stopped playing. What's his name? The quarterback there in
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert went 7 or 8 straight incomplete passes. They went 3 and out a few times in a row. And Joe Burrow put on his Superman cape, and he was making plays. But it didn't last, the whole game. And the Chargers needed to make a play or a drive, and they made it to win the game. And,
Wait, so you're meaning to tell me out of the last – so from the last Okay. So the last 20-something passes Herbert threw, he only completed 10 of them because there was a point in the game where he was like 7 for 7, and he only finished 17 for 36. What?
Yeah. So he had a little streak there where he was like missing everything. He was overthrowing receivers just about a little bit, but I mean, it was just off a little bit for a few drives in a row. Let the team come back.
Yeah, man, but
game, so good for them.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Who thought this was gonna be an Eli Apple revenge game? Not me. I'm telling you that right now. Man, Eli Apple, bro, this man is so trash, man. I'm telling you, like, I understand he played for the Saints and everything. Well, he didn't. He played for the other team always. But, like, bro, look, Eli Apple's just so confusing because, like, you never know what you're getting because he's either getting burnt or he's catching the interception. You never know. Okay? But I do know this. He is trash. What was that Eli Apple saying about New Orleans? Do you remember?
He said something about, I don't know, the city's trash or something. He's not the kind of apple that I like. I like those nice, fresh, juicy apples. He's like one of those green apples with the little brown spot on it.
Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know where your head's at because the only reason New Orleans didn't like you is because, look, there's a saying, Eli Apple, and I'm about to change your mind real quick, Eli Apple. There's a saying, if you show New Orleans love, it will love you back. All right, Jameis Winston showed us love. We like him. Drew Brees showed us love. We like him. Reggie Bush, was he the best player? Nah, but we like him. You know why? Because he showed us love. You, on the other hand, we don't like. You know why? Because you, ever since you left, you've just been so salty. Like, I'm telling you, you could freaking cook a chicken steak with all that salt. So chill out, and we won't have to talk mess about you. So you started it by coming here and playing so trash. In fact, after you left us, you were so trash that you decided to go to the Panthers to try to get revenge on us, and they cut you 2 weeks later. A lot of people forgot about that. I didn't. The Panthers signed you, then they cut you 2 weeks later. Crazy Eli Apple, man. Anyways, but that do you have anything else to add?
What do you think about this game tonight? The Cowboys and the Texans. You thinking, there's gonna be any fireworks and there's gonna be anything to look at? What you think?
Well, as a Saints fan, I want the Texans to win, but for some odd reason, I can't get this out of my stomach. I find it impossible that the Cowboys will go winless the rest of the year at home. And the Texans, they just lost to a team that threw 5 interceptions, and CJ Stroud's been playing like trash the last few weeks. So I'm not going to lie. As much as I hate to say it, give me Dallas in an upset. Cooper Rush. Look, we've seen Cooper Rush play some good football before. You remember?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Like maybe that was his Joshua Dobbs run, but I don't know. Because Cooper Rush has yet to win a game so far this season, and he's a backup quarterback, so he's gonna have that one game where he has to beat a good team because that's what backup quarterbacks do. They have to beat a good team at least once. Okay, but yeah, so that's just what's your take on the thing?
I mean, it's almost unheard of to lose every game at home, so I'm gonna definitely be watching that to see if they can finally win one in Jerry's world.
Yeah, as a Saints fan, if the Texans beat the Cowboys, Saints go up to number 13. However, Dad, next week the Saints don't have to play and they can move up. You know how that is?
Because what's the name? The Buccaneers.
I mean, no, because even if they lose, then we have the same record and they beat us. But no, what I'm saying is, if the Vikings beat the Bears, the Saints move up to number 12, and the Bears will go down to 13. So if you're a Saints fan and you're cheering for us to get to the playoffs, cheer for the Vikings to beat the Bears. I know we might not want to do it, but we got to, man. But now let's look at the playoff picture going into next week. Let's do that. We're probably going to do that before we end every show from now on, probably, just to give you all an update. So, should we start on the AFC or the NFC side of things? Where do you want to start?
Go to the AFC.
All right, the AFC. The Chiefs are currently number 1 with a 9-1 record, and they have above 99% chance to make it in currently. The Bills are number 2, as they are 9-2. They beat the Chiefs, but I don't think the Bills never had their bye week yet. So the Bills are number 2 with also a 99% chance to make it in. Steelers are number 3 with an 8-2 record with a 98% chance to make it in. Texans are at 4 with the 6-4 record, and if they lose today, they'll have a 90% chance. Currently, they have a 95% chance, but if they win, then they have a 98% chance to make it in. Because even if they lose, they'll still be number 4 no matter what. The Chargers are at 5 at 7-3 with a 91% chance to make it in. Ravens are at 6 with a 7-4 record. They have a 95% chance to make it in. And the Broncos are currently holding that 7th seed with a 67% chance to make it in with a 6-5 record. Now on the bubble, teams that are trying to overtake one of those 7 spots. And currently no team's eliminated, so technically every team still has a mathematical shot to make it in. Colts are number 8 with a 30% chance to make it in with a 5-6 record. Dolphins, hey, they're creeping up. They go up to number 9 after the Bengals lost, but they still only have a 10% chance to make it in. The Bengals, after losing, fall to number 10 with a 10% chance to make it in. And the Jets stay at 11 with a 2% chance to make it in with a 3-8 record. Patriots are at 12 with a 3-8 record. They have a below 1% chance to make it in. Browns are at 13 at 2-8, 1% chance. Titans are at 14 with a 1% chance to make it in with a 2-8 record. Raiders are at number 15 with a 2-8 record, 1% chance to make it in. And the Jaguars are at number 16, 2-9 record with less than a 1% chance to make it in. So now if we go to the NFC side of things, let me move this here. The Lions hold that 1 seed with a 9-1 record. They have a higher than 99% chance to make it in. Eagles are at 2 with an 8-2 record. They have a 97% chance to make it in. The Cardinals, they're number 3 with a 6-4 record, but they only have a 64% chance to make it in. Falcons are at 4 with a 6-5 record, 73% chance to make it in for them. And the Vikings are number 5 with an 8-2 record, and they have a 95% chance to make it in. Packers, they go up to 6. The Packers went up to 6 after Washington's loss. They go up to 6 with a 7-3 record. They have an 80% chance to make it in. And Commanders, after losing to Philadelphia, they now hold the 7th seed, 7-4 record with an 81% chance to make it in. Now on the bubble, the Rams, they jumped from 10 all the way to number 8 with a 5-5 record, but they have a 40% chance to make it in as the Seahawks beat the 49ers. So yeah. The Seahawks hold that 9th spot, so the Rams have the tiebreaker over the 3 teams. So obviously not the Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers. The Rams are at 8, Seahawks at 9, 49ers at 10. Seattle, 5-5 record, 21% chance. 49ers, even though they lost Seattle, they still have a 31% chance to make it at number 10 with a 5-5 record. The Buccaneers, they didn't play, but they got some help after the Bears lost as they go to number 11 with a 4-6 record. They have a 37% chance to make it in. Bears, they drop massively as they were at 9, but they're all the way at 12 with a 4-6 record and 1% chance to make it in. And like I said, if Minnesota beats Chicago, Bears are 4-7, Saints are 4-7, but they do have tiebreakers and all that, so the Saints will jump ahead of them. The Saints are currently at 13 with a 4% chance to make it in as they have a 4-7 record. And if Dallas loses, then that stands. But if Dallas wins, then they'll go back up at 14, or they'll go back up at 13. Cowboys hold the 14th spot after the Saints won with a 3-6 record. However, if Dallas loses, they have a 1% chance to make it in. Currently, they still have a 3% chance, and if they win, they'll have a 6% chance. Panthers are at 15 with a 3-7 record, as they currently have a below than 1% chance to make it in. And the Giants rounded out with us at number 16 with a 2-8 record, less than 1% chance to make it in. So, Dad, what's your takeaway after hearing all of those playoff spots? Do you think anything's going to change, or do you think that's going to stay?
I see the Saints have a long way to go. They're way down there in the 13, 14 spot.
13.
So, and the easiest way, the easiest path to get there would be to keep winning games and for the Falcons to keep losing games so we can win this division. It's easier to do that than try to fight for those wildcard positions.
Yeah, because currently, let's see, Atlanta, they don't have an easy schedule ahead of them. So Atlanta, they play the Chargers. That's going to be a loss. Vikings, I mean, for how Minnesota's playing, I'm not going to lie. I think that might be a toss-up but because, Vikings haven't been playing that well. But they are the Vikings. They are 8-2. The Raiders, that's probably not going to be a good day if you're a Saints fan. Giants as well. The Commanders and Panthers, the Commanders, if they get back on the swing of things, they could get that win. And the Panthers, you never know with divisional games, right? That's what they said after the last of that. However, the Saints, they have an easier schedule. Well, I don't know. They have sort of an easy schedule. As we play the Rams, we could win that one. The Giants, that's also a winnable game. So let's say you're 6-7. Play Washington. That's going to be tough. The Packers will be tough. Raiders and Buccaneers, those are two winnable games, I should say. So, Dad, let's try to do like a prediction, I guess. So I'm going to go game by game for Atlanta, and you tell me if they win or lose, all right?
Okay.
Chargers.
You have to tell me where they're playing.
Atlanta.
After seeing what I saw last night, I think they lose to the Chargers.
All right, at Minnesota.
I think they lose that game.
All right, at the Raiders.
I think they win that game.
All right, hosting the Giants. Yep, home against the Giants.
Yeah. They win that game because they're about to go to Tommy DeVito or the other guy. So they done threw in the towel of the season. So, yeah, that's going to be an easy win.
All right, at the Commanders.
Drew Lock, that's who I was thinking of. At the Commanders got that.
All right, home against the Panthers.
I think they got that.
All right, so you say they lose to the Chargers, so they're 6-6. Lose to Minnesota, so they're 6-7. Beat the Raiders, 7-7. Beat the Giants, 8-7. Lose to Washington and beat Carolina. So you have the Falcons finishing with a 9-8 record. Now for the Saints, I want you to do the same thing. All right, Saints. Let's see. All right, home against the Rams.
Home against the Rams. I'm going to say we're going to win that one.
All right, at the Giants.
Oh, we're going to win that one.
Home against the Commanders.
I see this going either way. I see him coming in and playing like a rookie, maybe. But give that one to the Commanders.
At the Packers.
Give that one to the Packers.
Home against the Raiders.
We got that.
At the Buccaneers.
Is that the last game?
Yeah.
Okay, we need this one. At the Buccaneers. I say we go in there and we take care of business.
All right, so you have Atlanta 9-8 and the Saints 8-9. So you have.
So we got to upset some teams.
Yeah. So the two losses you have are against Washington and Green Bay. So let's see.
And
this is all.
And I was worried about that Rams game too. I almost said the Rams got that. So that's a 50-50 one. But
All right, so let me see, because the second tiebreaker. Hold on, let me see the tiebreaker procedures, so I know what I'm talking about here. Let's see. So obviously, Saints Falcons both beat each other. All right, so best one-loss tie percentage in games played within the division. All right, so let's see. Atlanta. Let's see what they did this season against the division. All right, let's see. Okay, they well, I already know they're 4-1 in the division. So yeah, okay, so in order for the Saints to overtake Atlanta, if the Falcons finish 9-8, the Saints got to win out, because Atlanta's got the tiebreakers over the Saints, because the Falcons and Saints both beat each other at one point this season. But however, the Falcons have a better division. They have a better divisional record because they swept the Buccaneers. They beat the Saints once, and they beat the Panthers once. And the Saints lost to the Buccaneers. They split with the Panthers, and they split with the Falcons. So the Saints currently have two, right? Yeah, 2 division wins. Falcons got 4. So, I mean, hold on. Let's see. Because, unless, the Falcons lose to Carolina, but even that, if they lose to Carolina, then then it doesn't matter still, because they'll still have 4. So yeah, if the Falcons finish 9-8, then the Saints got to win out. They got to upset Washington, and they got to upset Green Bay. That's the only way the Saints can make it, or at least win the division. I don't know. Maybe some wildcard teams will start losing, but yeah, that's just anything else there.
Have the Falcons lose out.
Yeah, I mean,
9-8 record. That's not set in stone. That's just this knucklehead right here making a prediction. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, let's say they get upset a lot, which I could actually see happening. You know what would be the funniest thing in the world? Man, I'm talking about, if this happens, bro, I might have to, I might just make a show of me just clowning them. What would be the funniest thing in the world? All right, hold on. I got the schedule for Atlanta. What happens if the Chargers and the Vikings both win, which some people are predicting? What if the Raiders beat them with Desmond Ridder? The Giants beat them with Tommy DeVito. And the Commanders beat them. And what if Carolina beats them with Bryce Young?
That's sad, man.
What if they just lose out to, and 3 of the teams that they're playing against all bench their quarterback 1 point during the season? The Raiders aren't even rocking with Ridder, but what if they rock with Ridder for that game? That would just be the most hysterical thing ever. Even if they freaking beat the Raiders, but they lose the rest of the games, that would just be hysterical. Because the Falcons fans, they were already checking in. They were like, man, we finna run away with this division. They're flexing 4-1. But they're acting like that one loss was not against the Saints. 4-1, 4-1. But wasn't this the same team that just got dome smacked by the Denver Broncos by 32 points? They lost. The Falcons, look, I'm not gonna lie, they were at one point one of the hottest teams in the NFL. You lost to a kicker week 1. The Eagles gave you that game. You lose to the Chiefs. You squeak by against the Saints. Squeak by against Tampa in a game where you shouldn't have won either. You blow out the Panthers. It's just the Panthers. Remember, it's just the Panthers. You get blown out by Eugene. You squeak by an Antoine Winfield. No, you squeak by a Chris Godwin and Mike Evans list Buccaneers. You squeak by a Dak Prescott getting injured Cowboys. You lose to Darren Rizzi, and then a week later you get dome smacked by a 4-touchdown thrower in Bo Nix. That does not look like a playoff team, does it to you, Dave?
No, not particularly, no.
Yeah, and people were like, well, our 4 losses were competition. Isn't if you make the playoffs, who are you playing? Answer that question. If you make the playoffs, who are you playing? Because the Panthers ain't going to be there to save y'all in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Play the Panthers every week. The Panthers and the Giants are not going to be there. So,
like the freaking Cowboys ain't going to save you in the playoffs. The Bears ain't going to save you in the playoffs, most likely. So, of your 4 losses, or 5 losses, Steelers. You beat the Eagles, okay, but the Eagles, to be fair, they were hurt. Okay. You beat the Eagles, that's comp. I'll give you that one. You lost to the Chiefs. Aren't they Super Bowl favorites? Squeak by a Dennis Allen-led Saints. You squeak by the Buccaneers team that is tied for us if they lose next week for the 3rd in the division. You blew out a team that has 3 wins. You got blown out by a team that has 5 wins. You almost lost to a team once again fighting for 3rd and fighting for 2nd in the division. Well, now the Buccaneers are in it too. And the Cowboys, congratulations, you beat them but they're the Cowboys. I thought they were the Cowboys.
They're just Cowboys. Yeah.
You lose to Darren Rizzi and the Saints. Once again, a team that had no expectations going into that week. And then you got blown out by a team that has 6 wins. So, for all the games that you have against teams with a winning record, 0-1 against Pittsburgh, 1-1 against Philly, 1-2 against the Chiefs. No. 1-3 against Denver. So you are, through your first 11 games, you are 1-3 against good teams. And I don't know if you remember this, but there's a stat online. Apparently, Kirk Cousins is 17-49 against winning teams. 17. He's been in the league for how long? He's almost been in the league for 2 decades almost. 17 wins. Now that's down bad. But you got to realize Kirk Cousins, in order to win a Super Bowl like y'all are proclaiming, you have to beat teams with the winning records. You're going to have to play the Commanders. You're going to have to play the Eagles. You're going to have to play if y'all somehow, from some miracle, make the Super Bowl, which y'all know you're not going to do. But if for some miracle you make the Super Bowl, you're going to have to play the Chiefs. You're going to have to play the Bills, the Steelers. You're going to have to play the Ravens. So, I mean, Falcons, y'all might be the weakest team in the entire playoffs. So, I don't want to hear it, man. Dad, do you have anything else?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, man. Dad, where can they find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Warren Newby. Just type that on in there and look me up. And I'm on Hurricane Mike Show every week, talking all this nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. You can also hear Hurricane Mike. And don't forget, y'all, me and my dad, we finna go live next Sunday night to see what happens between them Eagles and them Rams. So, ironically, those are 2 of my mom's favorite teams. I just realized that. Is that why y'all broke up? man, shoot. Anyway, you can like, subscribe, share, turn the bell, and turn on another upload. Dad, who that? But also, don't be a what?
Who that? And don't be a Falcon fan.
Don't be them fans, man. They just got destroyed by Bo Nix.
4 touchdowns.
4, man.